Turbo Granny is an infamous and ancient yokai that was previously fused with the earthbound spirit crab in Shono City. Usually depicted as an elderly woman that's capable of running speeds of 100 kilometers per hour, Turbo Granny prides herself on her agility, never saying no to a race, and placing a curse on any challengers who either give up mid-race or just lose outright to her extreme speed. Through her curse, Turbo Granny is able to take possession of her victims, transforming them into a near mirror image of herself, and usually sending that victim into a frenzy. The curse is also able to affect people through mere sight alone, Turbo Granny holding the power to make one's nose bleed from only seconds of exposure, eventually leading to the desired victims dying from a stroke or heart attack at Turbo Granny's whim. As a yokai, Turbo Granny is able to materialize herself with the appearance of an older woman, sporting a massive gaping maw to bite off her victim's reproductive organs. But the yokai is so powerful, it can even manifest as pure spiritual aura, resembling a ghastly form that can use its malicious presence alone to harm targets. While in this spiritual form, Turbo Granny can remotely control any being she's laid a curse upon, communicating through them and creating a time-freezing pocket dimension that only Turbo Granny and her chosen curse victims can exist inside of. Due to Turbo Granny's fusion with the earthbound spirit crab, she has become the dominant yokai in Shono City. As a result, her powers are vastly amplified by home field advantage, as well as allowing Turbo Granny to seize control of all the deceased spirits residing in Shono City. Despite Turbo Granny's apparent foul nature and innate hostility to all beings that challenge her, the yokai does have a hidden side of compassion. The real reason Turbo Granny merged with the earthbound spirit crab, revealing that the yokai was using her power to comfort the deceased souls of the murdered young women, actually protecting them on their cycle through the afterlife. This quote-unquote heart of gold is seen time and time again once Turbo Granny is forced to ally herself with the protagonist group, the yokai's essence becoming trapped within a stuffed Maneki Neko doll once defeated, unwillingly becoming well acquainted with Psycho Ayase and the protagonist's children, building an unlikely friendship that the Turbo Granny reluctantly walks away from once getting all of her powers back, choosing surprisingly not to take revenge on everyone when Okarun receives his golden balls. As an ally, Turbo Granny acts as the protagonist's lexicon on all things supernatural. The yokai's old age and deep understanding of spiritual culture grants the protagonist knowledge they wouldn't normally have. While she is unable to use her Turbo Granny powers in the doll form, Turbo Granny does take on the mythological features of luck said to spawn from Maneki Neko dolls, as the yokai can subtly influence events of the story wherever she goes. Unfortunately, the Maneki Neko's good luck does not discriminate and is unable to distinguish friend from foe. With Okarun's testicles returned to him, Turbo Granny's assumedly returned to her home in Shono City as well. Considering Turbo Granny is aware of who Count Saint Germain is, it's possible this is not the last we've seen of her.